This show walked so quintessential quintuplets could run.
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast, with your hosts, Connor O'Neill and Matthew Hughes.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Nerdy Misfit Podcast.
Whoa.
I'm Connor.
I'm Matt, and here we are with our longest running series.
Yes, it's the anime of the month. So if you're new around here, we talk about once a month.
Last Wednesday.
Last Wednesday of every month is our anime of the month episode where we pick an anime at the start. We go over it. It could be a new anime. Could be an old anime. This one's definitely on the older side.
Yeah.
Could be good.
Could be not so good.
Yeah, exactly. And we just give our thoughts on it from start to end, so there will be spoilers for it. And also, if that interests you, we do this, like we said, every month. So drop a subscription, drop a comment if you've seen the anime before, and drop a comment what anime you want to see next. With that said, we also have a Discord where you can actually comment while you're watching it with us and let us know what your thoughts are, and we can bring it up on the podcast.
Easy peasy.
Other than that, we also talk about comic books
and
movies and other nerdy stuff.
D&D sometimes, and food sometimes, and lots of other random stuff, some Lego sometimes.
Yeah, speaking of which.
If you haven't noticed, over the last few episodes, there's been something that's been building up.
The progression has been there.
The progression has been building up to this lovely Lego set behind me here.
Yep.
The one and only Going Merry from the One Piece Lego set series. And it's stinking beautiful.
It's pretty cool. Lots of little Easter eggs inside the ship that come apart. It was a fun build.
Yeah, that was all Connor.
It was a fun build.
It looks great.
You actually have a couple.
I do. I actually built Lego for the first time last night in like months.
Just sets just waiting for
Yeah, I had like 7 or 8 sets that are just waiting to build. I have the big one, which I still need to build, but that's going to be a journey and a half. I need to dedicate a whole day's worth.
Need space for it.
Yeah.
Need to make sure
Well,
it's
the
gonna
box
fit.
is 10 to 11 hours on average to build this dang set.
I definitely enjoyed building them Going Merry the way we did, because initially I was just probably going to finish it in one night. And then I was like, what if I built part of it and then put it in the background of the podcast and then waited till we recorded and then built more? And so it kind of slowed me down, so I didn't rush through it, which was nice.
Fair.
But without further ado, we're
Here
not
we
talking
are.
about One Piece.
We're
Because
not talking
we
about
can't
One
finish
Piece.
that in 1 month.
Exactly.
We're not crazy.
Well,
okay.
We did watch a lot of anime this month, but you know. But yes, here we are, end of the month. If you tuned into July's episode of Anime of the Month, you would know what anime we're watching for August, and that was Nisekoi False Love. Nice little 20-episode anime dating back from winter season of 2014. Studio was Shaft, Chef's Kiss. Genre was comedy, romance, and a My Anime List score sitting at a 7.55. Now, it actually went down by 0.1 since we last talked about the stats here. But based on 1.2 million people.
Yeah, it's one of the more popular shows,
Yes.
for sure. We knew that going in.
I will say it's fun doing these anime of the months because I've never heard of this anime, really.
And then you see how popular
And then you see how popular, like, man, am I behind on the times? And then we watch it, and I'm like, oh, this explains why it's so popular. But without further ado, I'll read you a little fun synopsis about what we just watched. So spoilers ahead. But yeah, Reiku Ichiju, a first-year student at Bonyari High School, is the sole heir to an intimidating Yakuza family. And 10 years ago, Raku made a promise to his childhood friend. Now he has to go on. Now all he has to go on is a pendant with a lock, which can only be unlocked with the key which the girl took with her when they parted. Now, years later, particularly 10 years later.
it's mentioned a lot.
It's mentioned a lot. 10 years later, guys. Reiku has grown into a typical teenager, and all he wants is to remain as uninvolved in the Yakuza background as possible, while spending his school days alongside his middle school crush, Kosaki Onodera. However, when an American beehive gang invades his family's turf, Reiku's romantic dreams are sent for a toss as he's dragged into a frustrating conflict. Reiku is to pretend that he's in a romantic relationship with Chitogi Kirasaki, the beautiful daughter of the Beehive's chief, so as to reduce the friction between the two groups. Unfortunately, reality could not be farther from this whomping lie. Reiku and Chitogi fall in hate at first sight, As the girl is convinced that he is a pathetic pushover, and in Reiku's eyes, Chitogi is about as attractive as a savage gorilla. Nisekoi follows the daily antics of this mismatched couple who has been forced to get along for the sake of maintaining the city's peace, with many more girls popping up in his life, all involved with Reiku's past somehow. His search for his girl who holds his heart and his promise leads him to more unexpected directions than he expects.
Yeah, basically it just turns into a classic harem
Yeah.
where there's just some reason that X girl is there and
then 4 episodes later, another girl.
and is there to trick you into thinking, oh, maybe he ends up with this girl. Or they're just there to be a conflict.
Spoiler alert, we don't know.
Yeah, so going in, actually, so we didn't know anything about the anime going in.
Outside of what I just said.
Yeah, out of the synopsis. Didn't even realize it was Shaft. It went way over my head whenever we were talking or looking into it. I definitely knew it was Shaft after watching like a couple episodes.
Yeah.
Their style is just so hard to miss.
Yeah.
But hey, nothing wrong. I love
Shaft's
some Shaft
good.
anime.
Yeah.
I love some Shaft anime. But the definitely came off very hardcore harem-y,
Yep.
but in a good way.
Yeah.
So let's dive into your initial thoughts, Matt.
My initial thoughts. Obviously, I say this every time we watch something that's more rom-com-y, more slice of life. It's a good switch from my classic shonen action stories that I'm so used to watching.
Have you seen a lot of harem?
Not too many, no.
I was gonna say I can't even.
So
think
this might be one of my first ones that I'm trying to think on the top of my head, but
yeah, I would say for me it's not exactly a massive genre for me, but I've definitely seen like a handful. Some isekai have like multiple girls. I guess like you could say SAO has some harem elements. He definitely has a harem.
Yeah.
But it's
not focused solely on that.
Well, and you kind of
you
also know like it's not like really a competition of
who's gonna
where so like I've seen quintessential quintuplets, High School DxD, obviously a very classic hardcore harem.
Yeah.
What other ones have I seen? SAO, like I said. There might be more. Oh well, Rent a Girlfriend.
Yeah.
I guess Domestic Girlfriend in some
Buddy
ways.
Girl Senpai? No, I haven't seen Buddy Girl Senpai, so I don't know.
It's kind of. Nah, I would say it's similar to SAO. There's a bunch of girls who, one of them which is his sister. Not saying that anime hasn't crossed such lines before,
but
it's similar to SAO where you kind of know who the actual couple is already. This one definitely falls more in line with. If you've seen quintessential quintuplets and you liked it, you're definitely gonna like this one. It follows a very similar. Not just is it a rom-com harem, but it's a rom-com harem with purpose.
Yeah,
there is a girl. There's like that mystery element of which one is it, who is it? Is the show giving us hints to who it is? You as the audience member can try and be like, oh, I think it's this person because of this. Whereas in some more classic harems, To Love Ru, etc., there is no really ending of like, oh, this is who we're with.
Yeah.
And I have it on good merit from a fan of this series that it does end and he does end up with a girl. So it actually ends.
So is the manga finished then?
Yep.
Okay.
We watched season 1, which is 20 episodes.
Yeah.
There is a season 2, which is 12 episodes, I believe, and then that's it. It just dies, and that's roughly around the 100-ish chapters mark.
Dang.
And it's a 220 something chapter manga.
That's wild.
Yeah, so there is a lot more story, and it's also bizarre that it never ended.
Yeah.
But from an anime perspective.
Especially if it's this popular, too.
Yep. But I do think, we'll get into it deeper, but I think it showed that this could work for fans in an anime perspective, and we'll talk about that later. But for my initial thoughts, I was like, okay, harem, rom-com. I kind of liked the premise with the more rival families and the whole gang aspect. And I really like the MC. Very down to earth considering his situation. He was definitely a real icon. He almost makes it the anime alone.
Yeah.
He's such a good character. He does have those few moments of harem-esque MC stupidity, like conveniently falling asleep during a weird confession or not paying attention at times where
getting the wrong message when he's trying to like have a conversation and there's two different sides to very different conversations.
That's just like cliche tropes for the genre.
But I'm here for it.
I feel like it's hard to avoid also like, if you want the story to You want to hang. You
when
want to
you're
throw that
doing-
hook out, and you kind of want to just bait it, right? Like,
Yeah.
You can't just be like, all right, they all confess.
Yeah, especially when you're doing a comedy too. Like you need those moments to help flow properly with the comedy. Because if you take out those elements, it's not like those are the funnier bits when he's being completely clueless
Yeah.
to the situation at hand,
Absolutely.
right? Like when he throws the relationship charm at her, and then she reads the sign, kind of thing, and he has no idea what she's talking about. He's
Yeah,
just like,
the-
yeah, I
all the
thought you
misread
wanted it, so
situations.
here you go.
I also wrote down so many head tilts going in. Totally forgot it was Studio Shaft. But once I saw a few of the head tilts and the focuses right on the character's like face and
Yeah.
emotions, like it was so it had to be. I had to check and to make sure it was Shaft. I was like, if it ain't Shaft, they should sue whoever made this for
'Cause
like
it's very
copyright.
shafty, like yeah.
Very enjoyable characters though. Also, right. I think that's a really good sign when you start an anime, you watch 2-3 episodes, and you're already like, yeah, I like all the characters.
Yeah.
I didn't find them. I guess I could see a world where Shitoge Kurosaki can rub people the wrong way because she's more of that headstrong, like
Yeah.
very combative out front, but soft on the inside, kind of a cliche character.
Yeah.
But like, I can see how she could rub people the wrong way. But for the most part, all the characters were very solid.
Yeah, I think it's good because with the 3 to 4 love interests, depending how you look at it,
Yep.
they all had their uniqueness, so they weren't like the cookie cutter. Like each of them had their own thing. You had the super shy that liked him. You had the outspoken.
Which is a trope though for harems.
Yeah,
you
no.
have to have like
I think
okay,
all
this
4
girl-
of them had the tropes.
they're like
that
the shy, cute girl.
Yeah.
You have the
hot-headed one,
the hot-headed one. You had the one that
way too
refuses
serious.
to believe that she could like him.
Yeah.
You have, and then we have the one that's just head over heels for him.
Yeah.
Doesn't care who knows. Like, but you kind of know that she's not going to be the winner.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah, she shows up. She's like, "Oh, I'm his fiance." And
You're
I'm
like,
like,
"Yeah, it's over for
you're
you."
out. Yeah, you're not making the cut. Actually,
it's over for
Yeah.
you.
You had screen time for an episode. Sorry, kid, it's not you. The
Uh,
bodyguard has a higher chance than you.
Yeah, that was unfortunate
Yeah.
when they said, "Oh yeah, you've got a fiance." You're like, "Okay, yeah, it's over."
Yeah, he's not the one. She's not getting it.
Progressing through the plot, the style of the show felt very good. Felt good pacing. As you get introduced to all
Yeah.
the female characters, and obviously all the situations you go to, because it is episodic. You know that going in, that you're just kind of, what situation are they getting into now?
Yeah.
But they did a good job for time wise showing the timeline in the anime, where
Mhm.
if it was directly close to a previous episode, it'd be like, oh, that was yesterday.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh,
It's only been 2 weeks, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, cool.
yeah, it was pretty good at giving you
Yeah.
where in time we were, which I feel like isn't done as often as you would
Not
like
when
in
it
a lot
comes
of
to
shows.
episodic. The only episode that stands out for me that, like, there is obviously a point to the episode, but is the pool episode, like the swim
Yeah,
meet
yeah.
one. That one, the end of it obviously makes important because obviously he like does CPR and
Yep.
such, or which creates more conflict.
And then we go
later.
into the next day where
yeah,
and they're literally referencing
Yeah.
yesterday
exactly.
or the weekend
Yeah,
goes by and you're like, oh, okay. But yeah, I wrote down, for the most part, all the characters were really enjoyable, except for the cliche pervy friend, which I feel like would be wrong to not have in the show, but also at the same time, it's like almost a guaranteed I'm not gonna like them.
yeah. I think there was a time and place for him, but there was certain moments, and I'm like, dude, like he was great in the finale, like the
Oh, like
Romeo and
the Romeo and
Juliet,
Juliet
like
stuff?
that was great for him.
I like the
But-
scene where he sets up the MC to be on the bus with all the girls.
Yeah.
He's like, and he's like kind of like nudging him, like, I got you.
Yeah, he's like, I got you. Like that, those moments are fine. But like when they're having like a serious moment, and he's like, ooh,
Or like he's
look at
overly pervy, like at
the beach.
or at the onsen.
Yeah,
And he's the one leading the way, trying to listen in on the girls. And like, I get it. Like it's a older joke as well, but it just,
Yeah.
it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
I did also write down in my character, which I guess I'll leave this for the end. I do have my guess after only watching season 1 as
Mhm.
to how I think the show could end. So
Yeah.
I'll leave that.
we can
to
at
close
the
to
end we can talk about that. Yeah.
But what were your thought on like the plot overall? and
So
the
I have like
characters?
a real rough description of the plot, but it's a fast-paced story following a young boy who's trying to find love from when he was 6 years old. We come across 3 to 4 different girls who all have keys that may or may not be the key to his heart.
I feel, wouldn't it be funny if all of them worked?
That's what I thought about. Could you imagine if they're just the same 3 keys
It's
that
just
are
different
directly
keys for
copied?
the same.
Just master key.
Because as
Um,
you get introduced to all of them, they're like, "Oh, I knew you 10 years ago," and it's
Yeah.
like, all during the same timeline.
Yeah,
where they
all in the same summer.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
like the same year, like the same summer. They're like, oh yeah, we all visited America together.
The only one that's out of it is like the girl bodyguard.
Yeah.
Who knew about it 10 years
Who
ago.
made a separate promise, who was also in the same area 10 years ago, but didn't
But
interact.
wasn't involved. Yeah, didn't interact. At all.
But yeah, we follow him as he's forced to be in a relationship to keep the gangs at ease. Meanwhile, other girls slowly start to fall for him. I thought all the characters were great individually. There was like subtle plot twists that were kind of cliche, but kind of like the bodyguard turning out to be a girl. I thought was just kind of.
Yeah.
It was kind of unexpected, but in a funny way.
Yeah,
where
yeah, it was
obviously he
good.
comes in, you're like, oh, you're wearing, like maybe you're the love interest for her, and like maybe that will be the conflict of like two guys fighting for the same girl. But then obviously they fight with the main MC, and then jumps out a window, and then he's like, oh man, I have to save this guy. I'll start taking his clothes off, or else he's gonna get sick.
And boom, it's a girl.
Hold up.
Hold up.
Wait a second. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a very fun story. I think the characters are fun, both the MC and the love interest. A couple of love interests I don't really care about. I will say, an underrated character was
The teacher.
no, the female best friend that like knew that Onodera likes.
Oh yeah,
Reiku.
she's like pushing her the whole
Yeah,
time, right?
and
Like,
she's the one that sets up the whole swim meet to like get Raku to
she's
train
a good
her.
wing woman.
Yeah, like she was very fun, but she kind of fell off halfway through the season. To be fair, there was like
she still
4
had her
other.
moments, like
Yeah.
you see at the end when she talks to Kosaki about like, you twisted your ankle, like why would you do that?
Yeah, I was trying to help you with this whole thing, and like, yeah,
So she was definitely best wing woman
Yeah,
though. She's
best
trying.
wing woman
She's
for
looking
sure.
out for her friend. Okay, well, as is tradition with these, Matt, you have to pick best girl. Who is the best girl for you? Who are you rooting for to win?
who am I rooting for to win? Shitogi.
Really?
Yeah. Like the Onodera is great, but they do talk about it at the end of season 1, where like the more time that he spends with Shitogi, like they fall slowly more and more in love with each other. And I just think Onodera is too wholesome to be with him because he is
See,
a wild
yeah,
card.
I have a similar feeling.
Yeah.
Kosaki Onodera is definitely best girl for me in
Yeah.
the show. But I don't think
They're not
I don't think she's going to be one
No.
because she's the initial crush,
Yeah.
which already is like getting me to be a little bit like,
If of all the people to have the key, it's probably gonna be her,
yeah,
but he's gonna fall in love with Shitogi.
because of all the time they spend.
Yeah,
together.
exactly. And he talks about that in season 1. He's like, maybe I'm starting to fall with her because of like all the time.
Well, like,
He's like,
they talk about just how they're getting to know each other a lot more, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, it makes sense. We're spending all of our time together.
Yeah.
Like,
How could I hate you?
He does know me, or like he
Yeah.
should be getting to know me because I spend all my time. Jumping into animation character design, I feel like the character design overall is fine.
No
it's
complaints?
not like anything crazy, but it's unique enough that you're like, I can pick out who each character
Yeah.
is.
All the girls had different hair color, hairstyles,
different
glasses,
hairstyles,
not
different
glasses.
personalities. Same with like the only like 2 dudes that are relevant, I guess, if you want to include the bodyguard. He also like stands out. Like you can tell who everyone is very
Yeah.
easily. And I feel like when it comes to character design, especially for a high school show that they're all supposed to be in uniform, that's pretty much the best you can do, right?
They did pretty
Make
good.
sure
yeah.
they're all unique in their own way, have
Yeah.
subtle things that make them different, and of course have different personalities. That's extremely important.
When it comes to animation character design, this is one of my negatives, which is just more of a nitpick for me. And we've talked about this in other animes and stuff too, where like the NPCs in the background, the way they like fade them out. For me, it stood out in a couple certain shots where they're just like gray.
Yeah,
Entirely,
well,
but
that's just a stylistic choice.
That's
by
the stylist.
Shaft.
Yeah, that's not.
Would
like,
you rather have CGI like walking
the
characters,
thing,
or would you
yeah,
rather just have
that's
that?
the-
That like for me, especially with a show that's focused solely on this group of
Yeah.
individuals, I am totally okay with just having the grayed out. And at times where they needed to have maybe some more actual background characters, they were there,
more or less,
and they weren't
yeah.
CGI.
No, exactly.
Right?
As long as it wasn't CGI, I was kind of okay with it. But yeah, I
Because
think
that's the thing. That's your option. It's you
yeah,
either
it's
do
CGI
something like that
or
where you show
non-existent
a
people.
simplistic version, whether it's no faces or just the gray, but
Yeah.
in human shape, and you're like, there is a crowd, there's crowd noise, you see this, they're just so irrelevant and not
Yeah.
important to the story. Or would you rather have them all be ugly CGI walking
No,
in the background?
obviously I wouldn't want the CGI.
So that's kind of my thing about it. And obviously at the end of the day, it saves money and
for
Probably
putting
gives
higher
us a lot
animation.
more ability to get all those face shots where you
Yeah,
see
the emotions that you're
the
able
lip
to actually see
flaps
and stuff
and-
like that.
But yeah, for me, the animation was definitely solid. There was no really anything. The only thing that kind of was weird was the locket was CGI.
Yeah.
That was a little weird. But other than that, I thought it was really good. I just love the style that Shaft always does with the zooming in, especially with a show that is more focused on how the characters are feeling.
Yeah.
Right? The focus on their face and their expressions. The tilting, there is a lot of it. But that's just their thing. So,
Yeah, that's
you know,
a Shaft stylistic choice, which is whatevs. You know?
Yeah, and I really like they did another thing that I've seen in a lot of the shows they do, which is when it has like the low camera while they're walking down like a hallway and it's moving. It's just done so well. Like it's done so well. I really like that. Main thing is always the focus on the face, though.
Yeah.
They do such a good job of trying to convey these drawings, emotions.
Yeah.
Right, and I think they do a pretty good job. I mean, there's a lot of blushing, so you can kind of just tell, but I mean,
Yeah,
thought it
I
was
will
good.
say too is the background, like using the backgrounds to show the passage of time, is also very beneficial. And some animes kill it. This one is one of them that did really well.
Yeah.
Because I feel like some animes like focus too much on the background to show the passage of time. This one was like just enough. You're like, oh, cool, it's spring. Oh, hey, it's the end of summer.
Yeah.
You know, it's starting to get cold again. Stuff like that. Music and OST. I mean, score fit overall. Nothing bad stands out. The music
Opening was
it
good.
fit. Opening was
I thought the
fine.
actual
Outro was-
sequence was solid.
yeah.
Kind of really did a good job of just kind of giving you the brief like synopsis of the show really
Yeah.
in the sequence. But yeah, the OST was, I wouldn't say it was like super standout. I feel like we say this a lot, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like nothing like stayed with me, but it also was very fitting. And I liked the use. There was a lot of times where they would use no music,
Yeah.
like pull it away and then introduce like just like something very simple. I thought it was well directed, I guess.
Yeah. We can go on. We've talked about a lot of the positives and stuff like that of what we really enjoyed. I will say one more positive that I really enjoyed is ending the season on Romeo and Juliet. I loved the parallel of it because obviously they come from rival families and they're forced, like they're trying to get together. And
It's almost the opposite of Romeo and Juliet in a way, right? Where
yeah,
it's like they're two rival families, but instead of being like, oh, we don't want
forbidden
them together,
love. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like we're forcing you to pretend to be in love
Yeah.
to keep us from having a gang war.
Yeah, and I thought it was great, to be honest. I loved seeing the parallels. Like, obviously, I knew that she was going to become Juliet somehow by the end of it.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
you
just
knew.
knew.
The comedic timing of switching everything up, I was not expecting the switch up
Yeah.
at first. I thought she was going to do the classic, I was practicing the whole time because
Yeah.
I truly did want to be Juliet and she was going to know all the lines. But
I'm
then
happy she didn't,
literally right away,
actually.
she's like, what's my line?
Yeah. Sorry. Like, sorry, Romeo. What's my line?
And then it was chaos after
yeah,
that, which
it's
was great.
straight chaos. But I love because it was almost like it was interesting too because if you watch the sequence of how it all happened too, it's almost a retelling of the entirety of the season
introduces
too.
all of the opponents. if you
the
will.
opponents, right down to the fiance and then right down to the final boss, as you may say, is what's his name
Klaus?
again? Klaus Ringhardt.
Very weird sister-ish complex going on
Yeah,
there.
it was really weird, but yeah, I loved because I didn't expect the Romeo and Juliet episode to happen that way either. Like I thought I was like, you know what, maybe we'll finally get to see
I
them
thought it
kiss.
was predictable and it wasn't
Like
predictable.
no, yeah, it was just, and they threw like plot twist upon plot twist too because of the fiance showing up. Like, oh, I must confess, but we're brother and sister, and like
Yeah,
you
that
see
was
the MCs
clever.
trying
You
to
see
like
them, like,
stop
battle one another.
Yeah, it was great. Definitely a fun way to end an episodic season. Because that was my one worry where I was like, okay, there's like 2 episodes left. How are we going to end it? Because I feel like when it comes to episodic shows, a lot of the time when there's multiple seasons, the season just kind of ends. And you're like, oh, well,
Yeah,
we'll
it
see
had
you
a-
next week on
it had a
another
good
adventure.
jumping off point.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, like we pretty much mentioned most of the positives, so I'll jump into a negative, which we've already kind of discussed, which is honestly, it's just the sheer amount of tropes.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't really, I feel like you can't do a harem rom-com without most of them, to be honest. Like it just wouldn't feel right. It'd be like having a battle shonen without fights.
Yeah. It sells for a reason, right?
Yeah, it's popular for a reason, does well. So it's more of a nitpicky one. But yeah, you had like your generic girl kind of slotting into each type. Then you also had, you had your classic beach scene, your onsen scene. You had the classic plot shots of just on the girl's chest for 10 seconds at a
The
time.
subtitles on the
That was
pool episode,
hilarious,
I
though.
died with that.
That one was funny where the
Yeah.
subtitles got placed like on either side of their
Yeah.
chest. That was kind of funny. But I mean, like, some of them were just the characters just talking and then they're just there and you're just like,
But why?
yeah. Sometimes you're just like, okay, like, I get it. You're trying to like show off where we are.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a more pervy show. So you're kind of, but sometimes, yeah, it's just too much sometimes, I feel
Mhm.
like. So, but also, I mean, it would also be weird if it didn't have
A
those
couple of those
tropes.
shots, unfortunately.
But overall, it definitely was a positive experience watching the show.
Yeah.
Do you have any negatives?
Not really. I mean, I think like we kind of discussed already that some of the pervy jokes were just like too much. Like he
They're
had
hit
good
and miss,
moments,
and
but
I feel like,
like
as we also are getting older and older, you're just like less and less.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, this is weird.
yeah, this is uncomfy.
Yeah,
Actually.
exactly.
But yeah. No Nerdy Misfit Gaming this month. For Anime of the Month, I feel like we should briefly mention that. It's been a busy summer for
Yeah,
us.
it's
So,
August, so it's been very busy.
Yeah, so what
Um,
happens? But they'll be back next month
Yep, they will be back
for
next
their
month.
review.
Jumping
um,
into enjoyment, I feel like it's safe to say we both enjoyed it. Are you surprised you enjoyed it?
Not really. I am a fan of romance, like novels too. Sometimes,
Yeah,
like
fair enough.
but yeah, I think it was just a fun-filled story, and it made me want to binge the entire series and just keep going.
Yeah,
'cause-
I think that is the best thing you could say about
Yeah.
it, really, about any show.
Yeah.
Or book or whatever. Like
yeah,
you
you're
just
like, I want to know what happens next.
and you're just like, I need to know.
Yeah. Which girl will he end up with? Like, I think they do a really good job of the audience liking each individual love interest, except for, I mean, I didn't really like the fiance, but she also didn't get a spotlight as much as the other
I didn't
ones
like
did.
the bodyguard because she just kind of
Yeah.
has. It's almost like she is on the outskirts because
Yeah.
it's her own story of like coming to terms with, oh, do I like him?
Wait a second. Yeah.
But like, I don't see how he'll ever be like, oh yeah, I'm going to her, even though
Yeah.
she's irrelevant to the 10-year past.
Yeah, she is the. Turns out that's who she.
Yeah, that'd be
ends
that'd be
up-
quite
yeah.
the plot twist.
The one that isn't connected at all.
The biggest negative is obviously that they never continued the anime.
Yeah.
That would be the biggest negative. So in my opinion, I have this in my notes, is that this show, I think it showed that it can be like this type, opposed to just your more generic like harem where all these girls are just throwing themselves at the guy and
Yeah.
like he's never really gonna pick anyone. It had more of that mystery / there is someone, like, who will it be? How are we gonna get to that person? It felt like it showed that this can be popular, which is why Quintessential Quintuplets did so well, I think. I
Yeah.
think they're so similar, and I think this show walked so Quintessential Quintuplets could run. Because Quintessential Quintuplets is also extremely popular,
Yeah.
but it's finished. It even got like an anime movie for the ending, right? Like theatrical release. So I think it doing so well and then Quince coming out later and it doing well, they're like, we can end this anime.
Yeah.
Like, people will want to see the ending. We never, even though it's a different studio, but they could at least see the data of how well
This
this
one did.
and like, people want the ending. We
Yeah.
should give them the ending. That's at least my two cents about it. Similarly to you though, my prediction is that the story in my eyes can only go one of two ways.
Yeah.
And it's, first way is that the girl 10 years ago who it's just Shitoge. It's just from there and they're just like, oh,
Yeah.
like, I guess it is, like, we forgot. And you tell the story of how they slowly remember and then they just end up
Carry on,
together.
and that's it.
Or it's way number 2, which I think the girl ends up being Kosaki. And then they're like, oh, you're the girl. But then he's fallen in love with Shitogi and he's like,
Yeah.
hey, like, that was 10 years ago and
I've come to terms
you're a
with
friend. Yeah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, whatever. Break her heart, whatever. And then he ends
That's
up
it.
with Shitogi.
Yeah.
I think that's really the only two that make sense for me. I mean,
So you actively don't know what the ending is, right?
I don't know
I
what
don't
the
know
ending
what the
is.
ending is either. So.
I will be saying I am definitely going to be reading the manga. I don't
Yeah.
even know if I'm going to watch season 2, honestly. I think I might
Just skip to the manga.
just skip to the manga and just crank through it because it's just going to be a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But I do feel like they're the only two girls that make the most sense, right? You've got, and like you said, the biggest issue for Kasaki is that she's too perfect. She's too nice.
That's what I mean.
too-
That's why they can't end
too
up
goody
together.
goody. She's already got a crush on him. He already had a crush on her at the start of the story, which is the only thing that makes me feel like it's not going to be her because that's like almost
Not
too
gonna
easy.
be. It's just too on the nose.
It is. It's just too on the nose. So that's at least my thoughts. I mean,
I wholeheartedly agree. Unfortunately,
I'm sure when we do our episode where we maybe do like our like what we've been reading, watching, I'm sure maybe we'll finally have that, and I won't spoil it there, but maybe I'll be like I figured it out.
It's got 25 volumes. Am I really looking at that correctly?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Dang.
222, 27, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Chapters. So, and there's also you'll like this. There's 2 spin-offs. There's one, a random different universe where they're magical girls and they're all magical girl powers. And there's another spin-off that's them in the future and how things have been going for them.
Oh, so it's like an epilogue?
Like all the characters, yeah.
Interesting.
Which is definitely your cup of tea.
I do like a good proper epilogue.
So, it's 229 chapters for the main manga. But yes, there's 2 like spinning offy.
By the same...
I believe it's by the same author. Yeah.
All right, then I'll be more enchained to try it out.
Okay, so I'm just saying.
Yeah. Final thoughts. If you want a fun, fast-paced story with comedy and love, then this is the anime for you. I talked to my girlfriend about this anime, and it was just, as I was watching it, she was so invested too. She's like, okay.
So who wins?
Yeah, so who's winning? I was like, I have no idea. She's like, what do you mean? I was like,
that's it. It ended there. I don't know what's
I don't
going
know.
on.
I don't know who it's gonna be. And then she had the same thoughts where she's like, he's such an idiot. Like,
well,
how
that's
does he
just
not?
a harem
But that's
MC.
the trope. Yeah.
That's a harem MC. And to be fair, he was more intelligent and honestly a bit more emotionally intelligent than most harem MCs. Like, High School DxD is just a horn dog dude.
Fair.
Where like, and he's just gets put in this situation where all these girls are throwing their big tatas at him. And you come for the plot, but you stay for the plot because the actual story of High School DxD ends up being a lot more interesting than it has any right to be. But this one was, he was pretty good for an EMC. I think the only things were kind of the more you could relate to as maybe is a bit more awkward when you're like a 15-year-old, like talking about kissing, holding hands, etc. Like, you know, your first crushes and just being embarrassed about that stuff. But I feel like that's reasonable for a 15-year-old. And the only things that annoyed me were like the times where he fell asleep or he didn't realize why she was mad. But that's something you learn when you're growing up, right? You're like, okay, I don't understand
girls.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't change.
It doesn't change.
Just listen.
Just listening. Communication.
Yeah. Listen and communicate.
Okay,
that's our advice. But yeah, I'd say final thoughts and recommendations.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 I agree with. I think that it's
Close
a
to an
7.5 probably
8.0?
because it's just popular.
Yeah.
But I think an 8 it's a solid 8.
Yeah.
My only issue is it's not done. So I don't know if I could recommend it to other people.
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend the manga, especially after I go and read it. But I will say I will be reading the manga personally. I don't know if you also feel
I'm very tempted to if I didn't have so much reading on the go right now, but this will definitely be on the list.
Yeah, like I feel like I just need to know.
Yeah.
And 229 chapters, like it's
smaller than
a decent chunk, but it's not hard.
That's not difficult.
Think about how fast you rip through Demon Slayer.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not a hard thing to get through. So I think I'll definitely be finishing the manga just because I need to know. I gotta know. So that's the big thing. I don't know if I can recommend it because of that. I feel like I would just be more likely to recommend Quintessential Quintuplets, similar.
But because it's finished, so it's a little bit easier, right?
Not the whole gang stuff, which is kind of a cool element to it. But it's done.
Yeah.
You can watch the whole show, and it's dubbed for the people that are maybe more into dubs. And it was a sub only for us, which is shocking how popular it is.
And it not having a dub, which is actually kind of crazy, especially, like you said, with being as popular as it is.
That being said, the sub was great. Like, the voice actors were
great.
I
think all the subbing was no complaints there.
The voice acting was top notch. But yeah, overall, I would say an 8. It's very unfortunate that we can't just watch a couple more seasons and it actually ends. But I'm definitely going to be reading the manga.
Heck yeah.
Jumping into Anime of the Month for September.
Getting closer to spooky season. So we figured we might as well toss a spookier.
Is it a spook?
I don't want to say spook.
I would say it's like a mystery.
Sci-fi suspense, action, as the genres say.
Yeah, but so first of all, if you're new around here and you stayed this long, thank you for staying. Subscribe. Obviously, you like us enough to stay this long.
And you were curious on our opinion for anime, so
join us in the Discord where you can follow along watching the show with us, or if you're someone who's already seen the show, which would not be surprising because it's
1.2 million people have.
It's a very popular show. Let us know what your thoughts on the show are in our Discord. There's a separate spot for the anime of the month to discuss. But without further ado, Psycho-Pass, only season 1.
Only season 1.
Which I hear is the best season, by the way.
Okay.
But season 1, Psycho-Pass, aired in fall of 2012. That was 13 years ago, almost going on to the dot. As
That's
we're
true. Yeah.
jumping into fall season soon. Literally next week.
What?
Episode count is 22, a little bit longer than this season, which is
By 2 episodes.
By 2 episodes.
But it's dubbed. It's dubbed for you dub lovers.
Yep. Studio Production IG, which I feel like it's hit or miss.
Yeah.
They just put out a lot.
They do pump out a lot.
So sometimes sometimes it's just by sheer numbers. You're bound to put out some good ones and some bad ones.
Exactly.
Genre, like we said, action, mystery, sci-fi, suspense. Its current rating is at 8.33. It's basically got 1 million people that have completed it.
Yeah.
And its total summary stats for Mal is 1.7 million. He'll have it in their list of some sort. Do you want to jump into the synopsis, Matt?
Yeah. And on this episode of Matt butchering Japanese names, here we go. Justice. And
Wow,
the
you're butchering
enforcement of it has changed. In the 22nd century, Japan enforces the Sybil system, an objective means of determining the threat level of each citizen by examining their mental state for signs of criminal intent, known as their Psycho-Pass.
Oh, that title.
Dun, dun, dun. Inspectors uphold the law by subjugating, often with lethal force, anyone harboring the slightest ill will. Alongside them are enforcers, jaded inspectors that have become latent criminals, granted relative freedom in exchange for carrying out the inspector's dirty work. Into this world steps Akane. Crap.
I was assuming it's Akane.
Akane Tsunamori?
Yeah, that sounds-
Tsunamori?
Tsunamori, yeah.
A young woman with an honest desire to uphold justice. However, she works alongside veteran enforcer Shinya Kugami.
Yeah, that was an easy one, I think.
Yeah. She soon learns that the civil system's judgment are not as perfect as her fellow inspectors assume. With everything she has known turned on its head, Akane wrestles with the question of what justice truly is and whether or not it can be upheld through the use of system that may be already be corrupt.
This has been on my watch list for a long time.
Yeah.
As you can probably tell based on the year.
Yeah.
But I have seen clips and heard of people talk about it, and it is interesting. Like the idea, like you can already tell the psychological element. The idea that they have a system that tells you if I'm pointing my weapon at you, like you have X% chance of being a murderer or bad person.
You're done.
Just finish them.
Yeah. It's like a sci-fi version of 1984.
In a way, yeah.
Because there's the whole thought police and stuff.
Mhm.
So that's kind of the vibe it's giving me. I will say, too, it's very fun reading these synopses, going to watch the anime and then coming back. Because when I was reading the Nisekoi one last month, I'm like, this seems so random and this does not make sense. But
And
now
then you see it
watching
play
through
out.
the anime, you're like, oh, no, this description is actually pretty on
We're going to have to
point,
do Bunny
like-
Girl.
fair.
I think that'll be a funny one for you.
Yeah,
'Cause I
I guess
remember the drama when that first aired. 'Cause I
Yeah.
remember that was I was reading the seasonals on what we use now, AnyChart.
Yeah.
I remember like looking that season. I was like, oh, this looks
Interesting.
interesting. And you like read it, the synopsis, and you're like, okay. And I remember like some of my friends were like, you degen. You were just such a
Don't
and then
do
you
it.
like you watch it and you're like, and then
Oh.
everyone was like started to watch it and they're like, this is nothing. Like the
Yeah.
synopsis did not do this show justice. Like
yeah,
how
that's so fair.
good it was and how not as degen as it made it seem. And it's part of it is definitely, and this is a topic for another day. It's that ability to just grab people's attention.
Yeah.
You want to grab people in and then worry about the consequences later kind of thing, right? Like, oh, they liked it because it's good, but we grabbed them by maybe a little bit of false advertisement in a way. I mean,
Yeah.
there was a bunny girl, so.
It's true. They weren't wrong.
But yeah, I feel a similar way where at least this one, it does at least a decent job where you kind of get the idea. You're like, okay, we're jumping into an anime. There's going to be a system that just says, yep, X them.
Yeah.
And now we're going to learn through our MC that the system is not quite as accurate as it imposed. And maybe she's going to be breaking the system. And how is that going to work out for her?
How's that going to connect?
Well, and how is she going to, how the conflict's going to work against the system and the hierarchy, et cetera, et cetera. The drama unfolds there.
There's what, a couple seasons in like a movie or two?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like
I
that.
don't know
but-
what exactly is canon in that. I just
Yeah.
know that season 1 is like what everyone like raves about.
And then it kind of falls
Yeah,
off a
sounds
bit.
like it teeters off a
Shield
bit.
Hero situation.
Well, Shield Hero apparently goes back up.
Oh, it goes back up. Okay, yeah. Well, we'll look into Psychopaths and let you guys know.
Yeah, maybe
But-
we'll have. I think Gray maybe probably seen,
Most of it, all of it.
so we'll have to ask him.
See what his opinion is. Call a friend.
Call a friend. Exactly.
But anyways, yeah. Thanks, guys, for listening as we talked about Anime of the Month for August. Wait ahead for Psychopath Season 1 of the Anime of the Month for
Yeah,
September.
excited.
It seems like it's going to be fun. I'm excited for it. It's definitely a complete 180 from what we just watched.
Definitely way different. Yeah.
And stay tuned for next week's episode where we talk about the upcoming fall anime
I can't
season.
believe we're already talking about fall anime.
Disgusting that it's coming.
I was like,
so
oh, maybe
fast.
we can push it back, and then I was like looking. I was like, no, we can't.
No, we really can't.
It's like some of the seasonals are already going to be held in like episode 9,
Yeah.
10 when by the time.
like
it
Kaiju number
airs.
8 ends in like 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
Like it's already flying top. Like there's already shows that are done for the season. Like the summer flew by, and like September's gonna fly by too.
yeah, and we'll give a brief
um,
little synopsis of what some of the top shows we liked
Yeah.
from the summer season, but
But we are both watching a crud ton of stuff this season,
it's true.
so we might have to dedicate
See
a
how
whole
much
episode.
of a crud ton we'll be watching next season.
Yeah, there is a big difference, but you know,
You never know.
maybe we'll do a whole episode dedicated to what we've
might have
watched
to.
this season. Because honestly, you're watching like 7 or 8 things. I'm watching 7 or 8 things, and some of them overlap, some of them don't.
Some of them overlap. Some of them are from technically spring, but that's
Yeah,
I mean, if you're trying to keep up, that's how it works. right?
exactly. But anyways, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Heck yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast. Don't forget to join the island by dropping a follow. Thank you, and see you next week.